Very useful, sir.
Yeah. So it is posted in the WhatsApp also. Those who are not able to download it here, you can download from the. Yeah. So we move on. So we move on to the next topic, CPCPK. See, we have already discussed the difference between 3 sigma process and the 6 sigma process. Can somebody tell me what is 3 sigma process? What is 3 sigma process? Come on.
Just capable, sir.
Very good. Just capable. That means how the process will look like. What is your understanding?
Short term, sir.
Yeah, that we will talk about short term, long term slightly later. Now, madam told correctly, just capable. What do you mean by just capable, madam?
There are chances of defects, like we go beyond the 3 sigma level.
Just capable means it will, just capable means your control limit will overlap with the specification limit. Am I right?
Yes.
When control limit overlap with the specification limit, see here, the specification width will equal to the process width. Am I right or not? When specification width equals the process width, or the process width is just equal to specification width, we call the process just capable.
Just
If
capable.
you want, yeah, if you want to increase the capability more, then you can, either you can increase the specification width or you can decrease the process width. Tell me which is under your control. Can you increase the specification width?
No,
No.
sir.
No.
We can only decrease our process width. How can we decrease process width? By moving the control limit towards the center. How can we move the control limit towards the center? By reducing standard deviation. Right? So when your process width is equal, yeah, when your process width is equal to specification width, your process is just capable. Just capable means CP equal to 1. Just capable means CP equal to 1. Then what is CP? CP is equal to specification width divided by process width. CP is equal to specification width divided by process width. Whenever you see CP equal to 1, your process is just capable. Your sigma level is 3. So multiply CP by 3 to get your sigma level. When CP becomes 2, your process cap will become doubly capable. When CP becomes 2, your process will become doubly capable. That means your process will become 6 sigma process. So CP is very simple. Specification width divided by process width. And now for this particular case, what you are seeing on the screen, specification width is 20, process width is 12. Can you tell me the CP value? Can you quickly calculate and tell me the CP value?
1.67.
Beautiful. So CP is 1.67. That is written here, calculation. So CP can be calculated simply by dividing the specification width by process width. CP is called potential process capability ratio. CP is called potential process capability ratio. Why do I use the word potential? Because it is not the real indicator of the capability in all situations. For example, let me show you another situation. Now look at the situation. Your process is shifted. Why your process is shifting? This is called long-term effect. This is called long-term effect. And now tell me, what is the CP value again? Calculate the formula. Use the same formula. CP equal to specification width divided by process width. Can you tell me?
Will be same.
Will be same. Will be same. But look at the
Width
graph.
does not change it. Yeah.
Will be same 1.67 only. But look at the process. Is your process producing rejections or everything is okay to your customer?
Producing
Producing rejections.
Producing rejection because process is shifted. As a result, control limit moved outside the specification limit.
Specification.
So all
Yeah.
this you produce here will get rejected. But in the previous case, everything you produce
Everything
was
is
okay.
accepted. Yeah.
So CP is equal to 1.67 here also. CP is equal to 1.67 here also. So CP is not the real indicator or indicator of the real capability. That is why we call it potential process capability ratio. Do you now understand why do we use the word potential?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So CP has got a limitation. CP has got a limitation. CP will reflect the real capability only when your process is centered properly. Whenever your process is centered, your CP will become useless. So to overcome the difficulty, we are going to introduce one more metric called CPK. We are going to introduce one more metric called CPK. Anybody here, you use CPK in your company, in your workplace right now? Anybody using?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so those who are using, and you can better understand, and those who are not using, you can try to use. Wherever there is a process, you can try to use CPK. And now what is CPK? I will divide the specification width into half. I will also divide the process width into half. And now calculate half the ratio on the right side, calculate half the ratio on the left side. And now one half is called upper, CP upper, one half is called CP lower. See here, specification width is divided into blue bar and green bar. Blue bar and green bar. This is right side is blue, left side is green. Specification width also divided into two. Sorry, process width also divided into two. What is the process width? We know 6 sigma. When I divide into 2, 3 sigma on the right, 3 sigma on the left. Now the right side ratio, blue bar divided by 3 sigma, is called CP upper. All of you are following me carefully. CP upper is?
Yes, sir.
Blue bar divided by 3 sigma. Blue bar is USL minus X bar divided by 3 sigma. CP lower is green bar by 3 sigma. By dividing the specification width into 2 equal halves and process width into 2 equal halves, I can make my CPK sensitive to even the process shift. See here. Now I calculate the CPK. What is the value here? You see USL minus X bar by 3 sigma. What is USL minus X bar? 10. Because the total is 20. I divide into 2 halves. So this will be 10. This will be 10. 10 divided by 3 sigma. Sigma is how much? 2. So 3 sigma will
2.
be 6. 10 by 6 is 1.66. CP upper is 1.66. CP lower also 1.66. Whenever you see CP upper equal to CP lower, you can understand your process is centered correctly. Do you understand? Whenever CP upper and
Understand,
CP
sir.
lower are same, your process is centered correctly. If CP upper, if the process moves to the right side, tell me which one will get affected. CP upper will get affected or CP lower will get affected, or tell me which one will decrease. My process is moving to the right. Now tell me CP upper will go down or CP lower will go down.
CP upper will go down. Will go up.
Very good. When I move to the
Will go
right,
down.
when I move to the right, my blue bar will decrease, green will increase. As the blue decreases,
Yes,
CP upper will go down and green will, CP lower will go up. So my problem
Go
is,
up.
whichever side my value is going down, that side only my control limit will have the tendency to cross specification limit. So CPK is always minimum of CP upper or CP lower. Whichever side your value is going down, you have to be careful there. So now I introduce a formula, minimum of CP upper and CP lower. Now the CPK is a best measure of real capability. It will be sensitive even to the shift of the process. If your process shift to the right, then it will capture CP upper. If the process shift to the left, it will capture the CP lower. Now, see here, process is shifted. Process shifted by 5 units. My blue bar comes down by 5. So what is CP upper now? 5 divided by 3 sigma. Sigma is how much? 2. 5 by 6. 5 by 6 is how much? 0.833. 5 by 6 is 0.833. Similarly, CP lower, 15 by 6. 2.5. So I have 0.833 and 2.5. Tell me which one I should take, lower one or the higher one? I should take
Lower.
lower. Minimum of 0.8 and 2.5 is
Minimum.
0.833. So 0.833
07.
is your CPK. Whenever your CPK goes below 1, you can understand there will be rejection. You can understand there will be rejection. And now tell me which is better. CP is better or CPK is better?
CPK will be.
CPK is better.
CPK.
So please work with the CPK and not with CP. Right? And now, whenever your CPK is more than 1.67, you can understand your process is capable. Now, why do I make it 1.66 or 1.67? This is industry standard. 1 means just capable. For example, your pass mark is 60. Now tell me what will be your goal? Do you want to score exactly 60 or you want to score 80 and above? What is your goal? If you prepare to score exactly 60, sometime what will happen? If the question gets tough, we may fail. So we must have some extra cushion always. So the industry standard is 1.67 or 1.66. Industry standard is 1.66. 1 is enough, but 1.66 is recommended. And the recommending body is AIAG. AIAG stands for Automotive Industry Action Group. It's a society formed by leading automotive giants like your Daimler, BMW, and Toyota, and all these automotive giants. They formed a group and they named it Automotive Industry Action Group, and they created all the guidelines. But though guidelines are created by the Automotive Industry Action Group, it is used by all industries, even software, IT, other industries also follow the same guidelines only. According to them, CPK should be 1.66 for critical process. For non-critical process, it should be 1.33. So whenever you have CPK more than 1.66, you are sure your process is capable. You are sure your process is capable. And then you can also compare your CP with the CPK. If your CP is equal to CPK, you can understand your process is centered correctly. You can understand your process is centered correctly. If CP is not equal to CPK, you can understand your process is off-centered. Off-centered means off-targeted. All of you understand both the conditions? When CP equal to CPK, your process is centered correctly. Centered means process average will be equal to target. Process average will be equal to target. And then CPK more than 1.66 means, in addition to being centered correctly, it is capable also. Capable means control limits are inside. Done. See here, one small case we will discuss. A KPO processes reimbursement receipt for their customer. Reimbursement. Somebody makes a claim and reimbursement is happening. The time to process a refund claim is 30 minutes. That means within 30 minutes, the reimbursement should be made. So what is USL now? 30. LSL can be 0. Right? LSL is 0, USL is 30. And then customer expects 95% of the invoice should be processed within 30 minutes. Okay. And compute CPK. Compute CPK means whenever you wanted to calculate CPK, you have to collect data. So imagine data is collected. Mean transaction time is 22.09. Mean transaction time. What is mean transaction time? Average. What is average? X bar. X bar. X bar is 22.09. With the collected data, standard deviation is also calculated. With the collected data, standard deviation also calculated. Standard deviation is 5.96. Now CP is known. Sorry, USL is known. LSL is known. Patrick, any doubt?
Je suis connecté là. Non, sir.
Your voice is breaking.
It's okay, sir. It's okay.
Yeah. So USL is known, LSL is known, X bar is known, sigma is known. Hope all of you understand this, right? From the problem we understand USL is known, LSL is known. But X bar, how do we get? We collected data, calculated average. Sigma, how do we get? We collected data and calculated standard deviation. And now, what is CP? Specification width by process width. Formula is here. Now CP is found to be how much? 0.838. And now process is not capable looking at the CP itself. At the same time, I know CP has got a limitation. What is the limitation? Shifting of the process, it will not capture. So I calculate CPK. Formula is minimum of CP upper, comma CP lower. What is the formula for CP upper? USL minus X bar by 3 sigma. CP lower, X bar minus LSL by 3 sigma. I substitute again. So CP upper is 0.44, CP lower is 1.23. When there are two values, I will take only the minimum value. Minimum value is how much? 0.442. Now I want all of you to comment on your process capability. Now tell me, is your process capable? CP equal to 0.8, CPK equal to 0.44. Is it capable?
No, sir.
No,
No
it should be
capable.
shifting. Okay.
Should
And
be
now-
around 1, sir.
Yeah. No, the requirement is, I told you, for critical process 1.66. If it is non-critical 1.33, don't settle at
More
1.
than one.
More than 1. And for critical, it should be more than 1.66. For non-critical, it should be more than 1.33. For example, you are writing, imagine you are writing a model exam, mock exam you are writing. In mock exam, if you score 65, if you are aiming for 65 in the mock exam, it is okay. But in the final exam, what will you aim? You will aim for 80 plus, because final exam is very critical for you, isn't it? Same way, certain process may be critical, certain process may be less critical. Less critical means 1.33. More critical means 1.66. And so CPK 0.442, CP is 0.838. What do I understand is both are not equal. If both are not equal, what does it mean? Your process is shifted. Tell me which side is it is shifted. It is shifted to the right side or shifted to the left side?
Left center.
Right side shifted or left side shifted? Which is lower? CP upper lower or CP lower is lower?
Shifted to left side, sir.
Okay, lower.
Left side.
It shifted to left side.
Are you sure?
No,
Look
sir.
at your,
Shifted to
your
right
C-
side.
ah,
Right side, sir.
shifted to
Right side,
shifted.
sir. Right side.
Your process is shifted to the right side because CP upper is reduced. So, if you want to improve the results, you have to shift your process center towards left. Since it is shifted to the right, now you try to move the process mean to the target on the left side. Reduce your process average. Process average should be reduced. How will you reduce? You have to work in real time. And if that is taken care, reduce the standard deviation. When I reduce my standard deviation, my CP will improve. When CP improves, CPK will also improve. When I move the mean, CP will approach CPK. Ultimately, we want CP and CPK to be closer, and we want our CPK to be more than 1.66. Hope it is clear to all of you. Now another case. See, the same sigma level calculator
Yes.
can help you solve the problem related to CP/CPK also. You don't have to think much, but you should be very good in at least understanding what you are doing. You read the case, find out USL, LSL, find out X bar and sigma. Now everything is in your hand. See here, CP equal to 2.22. Is your process capable?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You say yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you say yes, you may go wrong.
Yes, sir.
All of you are saying yes. All of you may go wrong. Because
So we have to
always,
check on the
you have to check
We
CPK.
need to check CPK.
Yeah, CP is help. CP good means only thing what you can understand is your standard deviation is low. But process center can still give you trouble. Standard deviation can give you trouble. Process center also can give you trouble. CP more than 1.66 means standard deviation is under control. But what may not be under control? Process center may not be under control. And now that's why I measure CPK. look here. My CPK gives two different value. I have to take only minimum 0.66. Your process is shifted heavily to the right.
Right.
There will be rejection. Though you should not get fooled by the higher CP value. CPK is the real indicator. Then how the CP is helping? CP is giving you an indication about the potential your process has got. If you are so sincere, you have got the potential to score 100 out of 100 in the exam. Am I right? If you are moderately sincere, then you have the potential to score 80%. Something like that. So your potential for the process has got the potential to achieve a CPK value of 2.22. But how much you achieved right now? Only 0.66. What is required? 1.66. If your CPK is 1.66, CP is 2.22, you can understand still there is a scope for improvement. That's how CP is helping you. CP is controlled only by sigma. CPK is controlled by sigma as well as X bar. Hope all of you understand. Now in this case, in this problem, tell me which is problematic. Sigma is problematic or X bar is problematic? Tell me. CP equal to 2.22 and CPK is 0.66. Now what is your understanding? Which is giving you problem? Sigma.
X bar is.
X bar is giving you problem. X bar is process mean. So advice, now recommendation to the company is move the process mean closer to target. All of you understand?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, another case, maybe an extrusion company. Again, USL is given, LSL is given, average is calculated, standard deviation is calculated. CP equal to 1.11, CPK equal to 0.66. Now, comment on the capability of the process. Is your process now capable? Yes or no?
No, sir.
No, still
Not
there is a
capable.
deviation.
Not capable. You quickly look at the CPK. It is 0.66, not capable. Now, what is the problem? Sigma is the problem or
Not capable.
center is the problem?
Again, X bar, sir.
X bar, it moved to the left.
Again, X bar is problem. I will tell you your sigma is also a problem. Why? Because the requirement is 1.66. How much you got? Only 1.11. So in order to make it 1.66, you should reduce sigma also. So the action recommended is move the mean to the target as well as reduce the variation. Got it?
Got it, sir.
And now I need an answer from all of you. A process has a CP of 0.94, CPK of 0.33. I know process is not capable. And tell me what action I need to do. What should I do?
Reduce.
To
Move the
Mean
mean
to-
to the target and reduce the variation.
Move the mean and
Move
reduce the
the
variation.
mean to the
Beautiful, beautiful,
target.
beautiful.
Reduce
And
variation.
tell me, when I reduce the variation, which metric will improve?
CP.
Very good. CP will improve. And when I reduce the variation as well as I move the mean, tell me which metric will improve,
CPK.
CPK, sir.
CPK.
right? So if you want to control CPK or improve your CPK, you should keep an eye on both center as well as variation. That is why we consider CPK as the best measure of capability. Hope all of you are in the right track now. So capability of a process can be measured in terms of traditional yield, first pass yield, and throughput yield. And the process capability indices CP and CPK, whichever is convenient for you, you can use. You can also use DPMO also. Some company use PPM. PPM means parts per million. The difference between DPMO and PPM is DPMO works on defects, PPM works on defectives. First pass yield is the probability that a process can produce a good output without making any defects and without doing any rework. Both are important for us, right? So first pass yield is the best way. And DPMO stands for defects per million opportunities. The metric can be used for measuring capability of the process where output is measured in discrete unit, right? You're counting. That's what we call it, is discrete. CP compares process width with the specification width. However, CPK compares the process mean with the customer target in addition to comparing the spread, I mean the process width with the specification width. That is why CPK is superior compared to CP. For critical process, your CPK should be more than 1.67 and in addition to CP equaling with CP. CP equal to CPK means centered correctly. And then CPK more than 1.67 means there are no rejections. And for non-critical process, it should be at least 1.33. So that's it. Any questions? This completes our measure phase. Now we collected data, we understood where are we standing as of now. And now goal statement is also made clear in the project charter. So this is my goal, but this is where I stand right now. So what is the gap? I come to know. Now the reason for the gap in performance, we have to analyze. That means we can now move on to the analyze phase. Any questions before we move on to the analyze phase? No questions? That means I'll put an end to the measure phase.
How for toll gate review, sir?